Ladies and gentlemen, we're back with another video. And today, I want to have a discussion on a video I just checked out. And it was made by Caleb Hammer. I think we all know the guy. Actually, two different videos tonight we want to talk about. Welcome to the Night Talk again. We're back with another one. And two different videos I kind of want to talk about tonight that I checked out and I just kind of found funny is one with Caleb Hammer. I think you guys all know him, the one nerdy guy that does finance and that kind of garbage on YouTube. And the first thing I want to talk about is he made a video that basically talks about men from like the ages of 22 to 50 just completely quitting working. And honestly, so his thing was, well, yeah, we shouldn't support them. And it's like, honestly, man, I feel like that's fucked up, man. I really do. I completely understand why men are quitting. They've been underappreciated for years. They're working for nothing. And I just had this discussion with a family member of like 10, 15 years ago. Maybe some of you are younger watching this video and just quite haven't been around enough to see the pattern shift, because there is a big shift. And people are really upset about home prices, it just not being affordable to live, and things just being absolutely ridiculous. And, so 15 years ago, if you told someone this, they would be like, well, I'm doing all right. You just have to get a better job or, go to college or do this or that. And now those same people are like, hell no. Yeah, I agree. The system's fucking terrible. We're all probably going to be homeless in like 3 more years if this continues to get worse. And it's kind of an agreed upon thing now, where back in the day, you had a lot of stubborn people that were like, I love America. The hypnosis and the Kool-Aid was so strong that people would believe it. Oh, I'm still doing the American dream good because I had money. Like if you have 100 grand or 200 grand and you have money, you're not going to think the world's that bad, you know, especially if you have 1 million. And it's like, if you have like fucking $1,000 to your name, yeah, you're gonna think the world's pretty fucking bad. But we've actually reached the point where, so 15 years ago, people, they could work a job and make 50 grand a year, 60 grand a year, and they kept 50 grand of that 60 grand. So I mean, yeah, they were kind of pissed, but they were like, you know what, I'm at least making 50 grand a year, doing a job I don't really hate that much. Oh, I'm fine with that. Most people were pretty content. But America's content rate is completely fell off a cliff, where people are like, no, this fucking sucks now, because that $50,000 to $60,000 a year job, even $100,000 a year job, after all of the basic life expenses, the whirlwind tornado that we talk about on this channel that hits people, the car bill, the light bill, your property taxes, just property taxes, we could do an individual video on how bad they are. They're working for nothing. Like that 60K is like zero. So yes, people are pissed, and people are really pissed about this. This is a real issue of like, yeah, most Americans are working for nothing. I mean, I would argue most Americans, honestly, like, I don't know about you guys, but like where I live, it is an anomaly to see with someone with $100,000. I mean, it is like a rare thing throughout the country. And just knowing that alone, and knowing the average house is 200 to 400K, there has been a housing and poverty massive epidemic because the system is failing its people. And that's a major fucking issue. Like, that's not okay. It can't, and then it just gets worse and worse every year. And so, yeah, I understand why men are just completely dropping out of the system. Why? So they can work for absolutely nothing. It's the same thing as being poor. It's the same thing as just not working and being broke, because the only difference is you're just paying your bills, or you're maybe eating out better. That's it. That's the only difference. There's literally no fucking difference. So yes, people are pissed, and if you're Gen Z starting or Gen X starting, yeah, you're literally working for nothing. So yeah, people are pissed, man, and so I really have to disagree with Caleb on that. And I also want to say the same sentiment of, how come men have to work? So if you're a man, you should work and no one supports you. But if you're a decent looking woman, you can make $1 million on OnlyFans in 3 days. Like that little Tay, she made $1 million as soon as she hit 18. Why do women get $1 million for nothing, but men should be slaves for it and not supported whatsoever? Like, it should be as hard as fuck for men as possible. It should be as difficult for men as humanly fucking possible. Yes, that's why men are quitting. Because of that fact right there, is everything is against us. Every single thing is against us to succeed. It's fucking sickening. It's revolting, to be honest. And this gets me to the next part of my video. More funny stuff and revolting kind of stuff in the news. Pokemon Joey did a live stream with none other than Kenny Boulder, the scalper hater, and the guy that hates on anyone for owning Pokemon, even if they buy an Elite Trainer box, which I found funny because he called out people that were literally buying like 10 blister packs, or someone that maybe spent $300 or $400 on Pokemon. He said, these are scumbags. These are scalpers. This is scumbag behavior. But you're on Pokemon Joey's stream, and Pokemon Joey has at least $40,000 in cardboard. It's pretty obvious. Look at his background. More than the people that he was criticizing. So, but and he called Pokemon Joey one of the greats. One of the main people in the hobby, and that's fine. But you're gonna call out the average person? They're the scalpers. But a whale like Pokemon Joey, and it's nothing against the guy or anything, but a whale like Pokemon Joey is totally fine in your eyes and not considered a scalper. Make that make sense. I mean, I don't. I think the whole scalper term is stupid to put on anybody, because it's just like they own Pokemon, man. Like, I don't know. I think I understand that scalpers exist. I understand it's a thing, but it's just like, if you're someone that hates scalpers but you like Pokemon Joey, I guess you could say a scalper is someone that doesn't know anything about Pokemon, but honestly, what the fuck's the difference, to be honest? It's just someone buying Pokemon and either holding on to it and selling it. It's someone that's into Pokemon. Either way, someone that buys and sells Pokemon, but you could argue collector, scalper, like, it's just, I don't know, like, that's a very, very weird thing. That's just why I don't think anyone should be considered a scalper, because it's just the way of nature. If someone's going to get a deal and they can buy something cheap and sell it for more money, they're just going to do it. And I just don't see like anything wrong with that. But I find it really weird to like make anti-scalping videos hating on the average person, like Joe from Alabama, because he bought 10 Journey Together blisters and he's going to make $10 selling them. But you don't hate on someone like Pokemon Joey that is buying like prismatic PCTBs for probably like $200 and now selling them for $340 if someone's offering them the money. So, like, really, what's the difference? Like, you're friends with like one of the biggest, not biggest, but one of the bigger whales in buying Pokemon. Like, it just makes no sense to me whatsoever. I just thought it was a strange video. That YouTube is like so weird, man. Like, I absolutely hate how it's gotten. But yeah, like, everything's just so shit, man. It's really strange. But I just felt like those were two interesting topics to talk about on this channel, of just kind of like how terrible the world is. And oh yeah, so Trump issued an emergency housing executive order, and it's like, dude, were you doing this in 2016? People were homeless then. People were just as broke in 2016 as they are now. Why didn't you do it then, man? Like, there's been a housing crisis in this country for the past 10 years. Like, people haven't been able to, I know millennials, they haven't been able to afford a house in the past 10 years. Like, there's no difference. Most millennials don't have 200K saved up, let's be real. And that's just where it's at, man. Like, it's fucking nuts. So there's a housing crisis now, and he's talking about getting the interest rates down. Dude, the interest rates don't do anything. Like, they help with you maybe getting a home, but that doesn't matter if the price of a home is $400,000, okay? Or like $200,000, because the price of a home is going up from Blackstone owning 30,000 homes per in a lot of states. So they're making the prices go up. You have to break up the corporations. There are plenty of homes. There always has been plenty of homes. There's been more homes than demand. But when a company buys them all, and rich people like billionaires buy every single family starter home they can get just to rent it out, yeah, that absolutely inflates the market tremendously and makes buying a house impossible. And Blackstone has literally made it impossible for people to buy homes. And until that's fixed, fuck interest rates. They're not going to do anything. They're just going to put you on the debt wheel longer to pay off a house. So what if they drop it from 7 to 4%? A house is still 2 to 400K if you want a livable home. So I just find that really fucking asinine, and just very stupid. I don't know. Like, let me know what you think. But yeah, like having a housing crisis executive order, it just shows how disconnected these politicians are from reality of like, dude, most people don't even have the credit to get a house. Like most average people that are broke, they don't have the credit to fucking even be able to like qualify to even rent a home, let alone own a home and get a loan. It's insane. Like that's not going to help them. What's going to slightly help them is getting homes down to affordable, actual prices of like 60 grand buys you a decent home again. 80 grand buys you a decent home again. Not an unlivable dump. Like that's what they have to do and get interest rates down. Shit. And even then, it's still ridiculous because most people are literally working for nothing. Like there was a video on a guy and he was saying that he's lived with his parents for like 7 or 8 years working all the time, 40 hour, 50 hour, 60 hour weeks. And to try to get a home, and he still's not even close to getting a home or being able to even afford the down payment, which means he's making 50, 60 grand a year, and it's ending up to zero every year from just bills. And you may ask, well, what bills? Like just eating, uh, probably giving his parents money for electricity, probably putting gas in his car insurance, car payment. Just that's enough to drain someone's wealth, man, to like nothing. Like it's that terrible. And that is why, like, millennials, most of them have to live with their parents, man, for like eternity. And they just have no chance. And same with the generations below us. Like, it's downright terrible, man. Like, things are really getting bad. And, like, the politicians, left or right, neither one fucking helps at all. At all. They just make it worse and worse and worse and help the corporations. They need to abolish property taxes, too. I mean, just on one of the houses I own, the property taxes are 15 grand a year, state and federal. And like there have been taxes paid on that for the property's been around for like 35, 40 years. And like the property taxes are 450K after 30 years alone. Yeah, which is like half the price of a $1 million home, which is just insane to me. Like property taxes are ridiculous. And they will destroy you. And it's just such a bullshit system, man. Like once you even own a home, just like so they tax you on your money to get a home. Listen to this. So they tax you on every dime you ever make working. Once you save up enough, if you can, to afford a home, then you pay property taxes on that home. And are they providing you a service? Did they help you get the land? Fuck no. They taxed you to make it harder to get the land. And then it's just like a vicious cycle of them taxing you more. It's insane, man. And they're not providing you a service. You bought your house, you put a house on a piece of land. Well, what the fuck you need money from me for? You're not doing anything for me. I already own my house. I own my land. I don't fucking need taxed. I don't need to pay fucking 15 grand a fucking year in property taxes. No, thank you. It should just be illegal. I don't care how big your house is. The max they should be able to property tax you is like $1,000 to $2,000. And this is why taxing the rich doesn't work, because they just raise property taxes and it gives them an excuse to fuck the average working person more. And it doesn't work. You have to break up the corporations. For everyone that wants someone to go after, it's the corporations like Blackstone that own a shitload of the country and the houses. They make it so no one else can afford them. And it's getting worse every year. I mean, it's going to continue to get worse. And that's just kind of where we're at in this world, man. It's just really fucking bad and just downright ridiculous. So, yeah, just a long rant of like everything going on in the world and how wild things are. But yeah, housing crisis should have been done 10, 15 years ago. Like they just now notice it. You know why? Because there is a massive uproar of people that are fucking sick of it now. They're like they're looking at their finances and they're saying, "I'm going to work for nothing. I am literally going to a job I don't want to do to make nothing. To not have any free freedom. Like they're going to a work that the job that they hate working at and they have nothing. Like they can't even afford an extra like one vacation for that year. Most people are in that situation, man. Like that, so they're like, what am I even working for? Like to eat, to just live in a home, like a basic starter home, to just afford swing the bills on it, just to pay the taxes. I don't know, man. Like it's just diabolical, dude. And how some people still haven't woke up to it and said this is bullshit blows my mind. Absolutely blows my mind. But that's just where we're at. It's an absolute mess. It really is. And like I said before, I really feel bad for the generations growing up in this shit because it's robbing people of their lives. You know, like it really is. Like the poor millennials and Gen Z and Gen X, they can't even live a life, bro, because their life is working 40 to 60 hours a week. And they can't afford a home, so they can't like get a girlfriend and they can't have kids and a family because they can't afford a home to put that girlfriend in and the family in. You know, like it's just a vicious cycle, dude. It's just a vicious ass cycle of like these, you know, and it's the same for women too. It's like it's just a vicious cycle. They can't afford to fucking provide for their children. They just go to work every day and they're so tired by the end of the day they collapse and then they just start it over and over again. It's just, it just makes you sick, man. It really does. Like, and something has to change because they have just, the government has fucked the American people so bad over and over and over again that we don't want the dollar anymore. We don't want the fiat system at all. Just abolish it all. Like, we don't want government. We don't want none of it. Just give us like our own currency. Let us all just, I don't know, like hoard gold or something, or change Pokemon cards to the currency. I don't know. Like, it's just there. I don't know. Like, I'm being sarcastic, of course, but something has to change. The American people are pissed and they're frustrated with it. They know this system threw them out over 40 years ago that has lied to them about virtually everything, like going to space, um, possibly the shape of the Earth, fucking smart meters on the sides of the house, chemtrailing them, doing Agent Orange experiments on people. Like, it's just, dude, it's bad. It really is. I mean, and people are sick of it. Well, I don't want to work for this fucking beast of a government that has betrayed its people, especially betraying men, making it impossible for men to work and just shitting on us every chance they get. And yeah, I don't blame men for quitting the workforce whatsoever. I really don't. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the rant. But just that's how things are, man. It really is. Like that is me breaking down the reality of 2025 for the average person, that they all know they're fucked. Like if you don't have a couple hundred grand put away, like you're essentially fucked in this world. And yeah, it's just, and it's sickening because like OnlyFans models can literally make $1 million just doing nothing, but men have to slave for it. You know, like if OnlyFans women can make $1 million doing nothing, can men just make $1 million a year for just existing? Like just send us a check for $1 million a year, government, or have OnlyFans send us all a check for $1 million a year. Like that sounds about more like it. I don't know. It's really bad out there. I don't blame a lot of you for not supporting this system. I really don't. Like, something has to change. Something really has to change though, because like I said, but there is a difference. Like people are fed up with this that I'm sick of working for nothing. I'm sick of working and then everything goes to zero. Like no, people are fed up with it. They see it's bullshit. That if they're not investing their money, they're seeing it go to zero. Anyway, that's all we got for this one though. Hope you guys enjoyed the night show, and yeah, that's all we got for this one. But just like I said, I don't know. I know a lot of you feel the same that watch my videos. Like shit has to change. Like I said, they're robbing the younger generations of their lives. Because if they don't have a house, like if a man doesn't have a house, they're not getting a chick, bro. They're not getting a chick to go live with their parents. You know what I mean? They're not getting starting a family. It's just like dooming the generations because the generations and the corporations before them focused on greed, you know. And like I said, a corporation, they have such a massive advantage. They can hire new employees all the time, you know, but an average family, they can't. Like when the dad dies, you know, or like when the parent dies, then their son or daughter starts off usually with next to nothing or like 10 or 20 grand. And even if like they saved up money, most of the time their healthcare bills eat that away. You know, even if you save up like 300K, by the time you're old, your health care bills eat up like 200K of that, 300K, let's say, and maybe your kids get 100K if they're lucky, and that's that's if they're really lucky. And then they're starting out trying to grow that, which is just them basically putting a down payment on a home and living good for a couple months. Like that's really all about 100K is anymore is a down payment on a home and like you know, a down payment on a car and kind of like just living a little bit. Like it goes pretty quick. And that's just where America is, man. And people are fed up with it. It's an unfair advantage. It's a rigged system. You can't say that's not rigged when a company that can live on forever can just, like, first of all, create money out of nowhere half the time because they can just, like, destroy other companies and plunder the money from it. And then they get all their money back and then profit. I mean, and they can just continuously do this for like 50 years and you know like a lot of these companies have been around for 10 or 20 years. Blackstone's been around for at least 10 years and they can just keep doing this for decades and just doubling their money every year, buying more homes every year. And now you are seeing the explosion of them taking over the housing market. And I was saying this 10, 15 years ago to people and they just were like dumbfounded by it, and now it's like an obvious thing. So that's just where we're at, man. Like your children, you know, Thomas Jefferson said this that you're going to wake up one day in a country that your father fought for, and his children and his grandchildren will be homeless. And that is where we are pretty much at today. So there's a giant concern for hating the system. And do with that what you will. I hope one of you have the balls to change the system one day. And I don't know how to do it. If I did, I would have done it myself. But that's just where we're at with things. Anyway, hope you guys have enjoyed this. Thanks for sticking around for the long rant. We're out.